Alright, what's up guys, and welcome to the Luigi's Mansion No Out of Bounds tutorial part 2 of beginner tutorial for No Out of Bounds. And we got through the first 3 rooms and all the basic stuff to start off. Now we can continue on to second half of area 2 here. The first thing you walk up to, you'll just walk up to this text box that will happen with the again. Just gotta mash through it. And I didn't explain text boxes since we haven't had any to mash through yet, but alternate A and B will be the fastest way to mash through them. So A, B, A, B, A, B, if you know what I mean. Every other letter, do it every other letter. Basically, as fast as you can. A, B, A, B, A, B, don't do A, B at the same time. Alright, so we have Neville in this room. And there's portrait ghosts in this game. They're all special ghosts. They all have like different ways of like showing their heart. They don't show your heart just by flashing them like every other ghost shows. They all have like their special ways. This is where that like Game Boy horror thing comes into play, where you would shine them and they would tell you kind of a secret and you would kind of figure stuff out. And you would find it out. Neville's pretty simple though. All you have to do for him is he just yawns and basically he shows his heart. So we really just need to walk up here and like turn your back to him and kind of like touch your back with a chair a little bit maybe, and just wait for him to show his heart, and then you can just suck him up in the bottom left here. Kind of whatever is more comfortable for you. You can do it from there, you can do it from here, whichever side you want, and go to the chest. Just make sure as you're sucking him up you go to the chest. Just keep that progression idea in mind, and then get the key. And this key opens the Lydia room, which is 2 doors down over here. Just to point out, fake doors exist in this game. You don't want to go through them. Obviously, they're fake. They hurt you if you try to go through them. If you need to know how to like determine them, you can vacuum them, and they won't do anything. Real doors actually move. Luigi also likes looking at him when he goes by because he's like, "Dang, you aren't on the map. Why are you there?" That's another indicator. Yeah, basically, so you just need to go to this second door all the way at the back end of the wall. Like if you go as far as you can go is the first door here. But you obviously don't want to go too far, so just kind of like count 2 doors and then your third door is good. And Lydia's pretty simple as well. She's just sitting here combing her hair or something, doing something with her hair. Looks like brushing her hair actually, but anyway, she's just sitting there doing stuff. Basically, she doesn't activate her heart unless she actually, like, she gets cold or something like that, or the wind is too windy for her. And we just have to open the curtain in order for her to show her heart. So I mean, same idea, just walk like upright. You can use like the upright notch of the controller stick, just roll it upright, right into the hole, and suck her up. Try to get in front of the chest, like I didn't do there, but you know, get in front of the chest. Make sure you do that. And then you'll get out into this cutscene when you're done. And then we have Chauncey fight, which is a little interesting one. So for we save state for Chauncey, he's sleeping in this room here, in the crib. The way you activate him is to shake this enough that he wakes him up, basically, I guess. Or that it annoys him. I'm not sure which. I guess it annoys him badly. He wants to wake up and not be happy with you. So one way to easily like input this in your mind is I just walk like you see the down left part of the controller stick, like I did upright with Lydia. Just do the opposite of that, down left, right from the door. Just do down left, right through the door, and then R and straight up with the C stick. We'll get you that. And don't worry about it if you don't get close to the ball, because you have to hit Chauncey with a ball here. After this, to retaliate his attack he's going to try to do. So you're going to try to go back, get a ball, and then hit him with it. But like I said, don't worry about like getting back to him, really fast. Or getting back to the ball really fast, rather. Right away. Just get back as... Just make sure you're activated, and then the more you get comfortable with it, the more you can back up. But yeah, the Chauncey fight, you'll start off with 2 attacks. First of all, you can't 1-cycle them, so we have to 2-cycle them. That's one thing to keep in mind. Number 1, the first cycle, you will start off with 2 attacks, one from each side of the crib, basically, is what this is, if you didn't notice. A really big crib. And you just run straight right, and as it attacks you, just run left, and then the one on the left side, you just do the same thing. Run left, run right. Right here, I line myself up. You see how the end of the vacuum is like, I try to get it like in the middle. Between, Chauncey's now in the way now, but I'm like in between this, and then the back of my body is like in the middle of the other pillar in between where where the middle of this crib is, basically. And then you just count 1, 2, 3, and then drop like a down left type motion. Kind of almost like a down left notch thing there too. It can kind of vary. I mean, I kind of use like a feel. A lot of people I think use a feel here, so it's kind of hard to explain like when to go. You kind of have to like, but all the balls drop at the same speed. So if you know that, you can like 1, 2, and then like 2.5, get yourself moving. Would be probably around a good spot. One, 2, 3. Also, always make sure your vacuum's out. If you get hit by it, it means you're either too close to it and the ball like went through your hitbox or something like that. Like the ball can go through your hitbox and hit yourself in the body. You don't want to do that and like get caught in between it, because that can happen. And you can also just get hit by it from the side if you're not at a really good angle. It's another thing that can happen. But on the second cycle, and you want to leave him above 50. I need to register that as well. You want to leave him above 50 because he will do an extra attack if you don't. And that will lose a couple seconds. That's bad, so if you leave him above 50, that won't happen. And you'll just have to wait for him to attack, and then do the same thing again. Except with the second one, you want to get hit by the last rocking horse here. And when you get hit by it, you want to go like straight up in the middle and tap on the wall, because it extends invincibility frames in this game. When you get hit by an object or take damage of any sort, you have invincibility frames, and you can extend it by doing certain things in the game. Anything that he taps against, that actions cause him to tap against something, causes it to extend. I believe like pulling out vacuums and stuff like that also causes to extend. A lot of things can happen. You're just using that idea here. So you want to go against the wall. And tap a couple times here. And you pick it up and you get the cycle. Make sure you go a little bit left there. From the angle that I'm using there, if you're going to use that type of angle, make sure you go a little bit left. Because if you get a little bit too far right, sometimes it goes the wrong way. If you go a little bit back too fast, if you go a little bit back too slow, you'll get the ball to become down at a wrong angle. One of the reasons why I tap twice there is it's almost like instant. Like you don't have to do much thinking. It's just 1, 2, vacuum out, back, and then go. And you can also pick it up on the rebound if that happens too, because that may happen occasionally. I mean, with me, it's literally just to vacuum out up in the back. Like, you never really stop moving. Per se, I don't hesitate or anything like that. Luigi himself may not actually be moving in spot, but I like pick up the vacuum, which causes him to not move, obviously. So it's like tap once, tap twice, vacuum out, up, and then you have it, and that was an interesting angle, but it still works. And there's a bunch of different ways you can do this too. Like, my way is not the only right way. Keep that in mind. If you're struggling with the timing of this and it's like going over you, or if you're actually stopping the ball in front of you, you'll be fine. If you're like missing the ball entirely for some reason, then you may have like an issue. But if you're like doing something like that, for example, you're obviously going too far, but if you're doing that consistently and don't like feel it, you can always do like an older strat with this as well. You can like stand back and just you can get hit by the ball. That's what I meant to do. And the ball will stop, which defeats the purpose of the invincibility frames, but if you want to do that, you can do that without like doing the grab of the vacuum or getting hit by the third rocking or fourth rocking horse rather at the end. And there's also always, if you're really struggling, you can always do the older strat, which was stand in the middle and back straight up. Once you see the ball drop, move out of the way. And then wait for the ball to come back to you, and you can always grab it without getting hit like I did. And you can do that on every single cycle of Chauncey. So if you're struggling with like the first ball catch or the second ball catch, just stand in the middle and back up straight, move a little bit to the right, and then go back to the ball. Alright? And then we just have to get the key here, and boom, we have ourselves into Area 3. Oh, I'm sorry, Area 3, Area 2. We know this game, I promise. But anyway, yeah, that's the end of the Area 1 part of this tutorial. So we'll get ourselves in the next section. Hope we're helping you guys out. See you next time.